Welcome. Hey everybody, how's it going? To the official H.H. Hoover launch day. Let's get some music going because I don't want to hear just my own voice echoing with my air conditioner. Yeah, thanks everybody for popping in. I appreciate it. Just a heads up. So today is the official launch of issue 3 along with my store. So if you go to HoraceHoover.com, which I'll go through in a minute, you can pick up issues 1 through 3 in bundles or by themselves, the digital version, and today there's a little bit of a discount. And if you joined my Substack, you would have gotten a coupon code. So just a reminder, but I'll go over all that in a bit. Usually I jump right into inking. I'm not inking anything, so this is more like what is Fabrizio selling. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna hide behind my Christmas mug. So I hope everybody's having a good Friday evening. Let's see who's in chat. Yang Yang Zhao, how's it going? Thanks for popping in. You are the first. That may, I don't know, we'll see what a feat that is soon. Easy Comic Reader, hey, how's it going? Thank you very much. Sasquatch Gettys, live in the flesh. Always watching my videos and posting on them, which is great. Malengo Akpo and Sambe, a very good friend of mine, illustrator, awesome dude. Ara, how's it going? Art or Die, super stoked to see this dude. I am super stoked to see you. Sometimes I don't recognize names, but we'll see. Looking forward to seeing you at Plastic City Comic Con. Yes, I will definitely be at Plastic City. I'm setting aside a chunk of books, so I'm putting these on the store, but I'm making sure I have enough for Plastic City. If I have to do another order, that's fine. I'm looking forward to it though. Going to Massachusetts. I love New England. It's a little cooler, I think. 10 degrees. We'll see. Dr. Mask, how's it going? Thanks for popping in. Little late for the coffee. Yeah, I know. I didn't even get decaf. It's Friday night. I am living on the edge. We'll see. I'm doing excellent. Thanks for asking. White Alakazam. Just got all 3. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm really excited about getting the store up. If you go to the store, you'll see that there's a few items that aren't available just yet, just because I wanted to focus on the books first. So, you know, I have the resin models, I'll put prints, commissions, things like that. But this first little go around, I just wanted to get the books out there because I wanted to get the books in people's hands as quick as possible. So over the next couple of weeks, months, I'll add some more stuff to it, and I'll definitely let people know and, you know, have coupons for certain events and whatnot. Alrighty, so yeah, the first thing I will do is pull up the website and kind of go through all of the issues, what's on the website, and if anybody has any problems purchasing or have any questions, just pop in chat, let me know. Then I'll kind of page through the books. I will maybe spend a half hour hanging out. If anybody wants to jump on later on, if anybody's around, I'll put a link in the chat, and then we can jump on and chat for a little bit. I do have a hard out at 9, but I would love to just sit and talk comics, and we don't have to talk about Horse H. Hoover either. We can talk about other occult investigators that wear helmets. So it is a very focused conversation we might have, but alrighty. So Horace H. Hoover. Okay, so I don't know if anybody's been to the website. It's been up for a while. I update it on occasion. You know, the cart is really going to be, the shopping cart's going to be the biggest part. But homepage has the trailer, which we just watched. Came out last year sometime. I did tweak it a little bit. We have some characters. I do plan on adding all of the characters with a little bit of a bio here. Eventually. Got my social media. join Substack at the bottom, and you can't see that. 1 second. A little too... There we go. So at the bottom we have social media, so Substack is on the very left. And I will not spam you. I'm anti-spam, so I'll only send something once in a great while to let you know if I'm giving you something, a coupon or a little bit of news, but I won't let you know how I'm feeling for the day or what I had for lunch. So don't be worried about that. Okay, so we go to the team. You'll notice the team looks very familiar. They appear to be all related. Everybody that worked on the book will be in the team, so you'll get to know everybody there. I have a news section, so some interviews I've done, some very cool people. Check these out. I don't think it's completely updated, but I have some interviews, a couple of reviews, which I love. If you find you're having any issues, this is the contact form to use. And there's also a phone number. It's not my direct phone number, but I do get those voicemails. There's my email, so fill that out if you're having any issues. And then here is the store. Hey Kibo, how's it going? That's what Discord and Instagram are for. Yes. Speaking of which, I haven't checked, but I am streaming to Twitter and Twitch, I believe. I didn't bother to check, but this is the first time I'm doing all three. I think it might be the first Twitch stream, but maybe not. Alrighty, so we have issues 1, 2, and 3. We have the resin model, again, which is out of stock, but I will push that live eventually. We have the 3-issue bundle at a discount of $3 off. So it's all 3 issues are $24. $3 off is $21. This is my 1/9 scale. This is the big, you can't see it right now, the big model that I have in the back. I have about 4 of those unpainted, so that eventually will be on sale. I know that's pretty steep, but it's a highly detailed, custom, like limited run resin model. So that's why the cost. And then there's a digital bundle. So it's all 3 issues for $3. So it's something like, was it 88 pages? I think I got that right. 88, 89 pages. So it's just a regular shopping cart. Nothing special about it. Some sample pages here pop up just in case you want to see. This does give an inventory. So right now I have 40 of everything in there. I have 40 of the individuals and 40 of the bundles. So, you know, it's not a huge run. So I would recommend probably picking it up sooner rather than later. I can get it out to you pretty quickly too. So, you know, if you place an order tonight, I can definitely get it out probably Monday. So some tomorrow and some Monday. So I would grab it if you can. Issue 2. This is the new, I'll go into detail a little bit. So this is the new cover design. I have the new logo type, a little bit of, I have the tagline down here. I have Gloomy Wood Comics, which is the imprint. So I'll go into that in a little bit. But then we have the interior pages, and these should be almost exactly the same, except for a couple of additions. And again, I'll go over that in a bit. We have issue 3 on here. A brand new issue. Nobody has read this unless you've been to Three Rivers Comic Con. So they had a little bit of a sneak peek. They got their eyes on this before anybody else did. Some interior pages. I'm really happy about this book. I'm really excited for people to get to read that. And then the bundle. There's 37 left in stock, so a couple have already gone. And then the digital. And the digital, what I'll do is I'll send you a Dropbox link with 3 PDFs. So That should be easy to consume via, you know, whatever reader you currently have that accepts PDFs. iBooks for Mac, and there's a million for PC, or even a web-based one too. Okay, so that's the website. There's the cart. Once you place your order, it'll pop up here. You'll have an order number. Again, it's a pretty normal cart. But any questions, let me know on that. Twitter stream was working. Cool. Awesome. That's a steal for the digital. Yeah, I really wanted to make the digital as cheap as I could without literally giving them away. I don't really read a lot of digital, but the thing that I find useful for digital is if I own the book physically, sometimes it's nice to have the digital just to flip through it and look at the art, or just kind of quickly go through an issue or something like that. So I rarely read digital comics just because I don't, at least for the first time. Maybe I might read it through on the second time, but I use it for a lot of reference, which, you know, that's the fun of comic books. You read it once and you can look at the art as many times and then read it again, look at the art. So I do like having digital books. It's just not something I prefer to read, you know, that initial feeling of reading a book digitally is a little weird, but some people like it, so that's cool. It's hot. This week has been rough. ID theft issues, and this launch stream is a great way to kick off the weekend. Oh man, I am really sorry to hear that. Hopefully this is a little fun and not a little positive. Co-signing the get these now. I grabbed mine at 3RC. Yes, you did. Three Rivers was fun. I'm really glad I did it. It was cool. I'm planning on doing it next year. It was nice not having to travel. Nice seeing people that I saw at other conventions, so very cool. Easy Comic Reader. Just picked up the bundle. Looking forward to. Thanks, Easy Comic Reader. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm really excited about issue 3. It is one of those times when, you know, whenever you do everything, so write, draw, ink, color, letter, etc., there's always aspects that you don't feel 1000%, you know, confident in. It's always like, okay, the end product, is it good or bad? And usually, you know, if your drawing maybe lacks, you can make up for it in the inking. If the storytelling is a little vague, you can make up for it in the lettering and the writing. So you can add a little bit of writing to really clarify some narrative drops, basically. But this issue 3 was really the first issue that I felt like my goal and what I achieved was as close or closer than it had ever been. I really feel like this is the first issue where I achieved what I set out to do. So really excited to hear what everybody has to say. And once you get the books, and if you know, if you like it, if you hate it, if you are bored, whatever reaction you have, I really want to hear it. So let me know on Twitter or YouTube or Instagram or wherever. So gonna grab mine at Plastic City. Yep, I figured so. I mean, there's no reason you should pay for shipping if I can hand it to you. Digital's great for people who are doing reviews too. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. They don't have to invest in the full $20-30 and then, you know, potentially be disappointed in some random book they're reviewing. So that's a good point. Easier to show pages on video. Yep. Yeah, definitely. Sasquatch Gettys. I definitely prefer physical media. Can't wait to see your inking in real life instead of online. Bundled, ordered. Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, I am excited. So let's actually look at the books. Alrighty. As I knock everything over. So the first thing that you'll notice about the books whenever you get them, obviously, is the paper. So the paper in the printing is very different. It's not newsprint, and I'm not on the screen, so I'm going to get rid of that. The printing is a totally different process. So it's digital printing, and the paper is thicker. It's not newsprint, so it's going to be more of like a bright white. If anybody is old like me, they'll remember the Baxter paper. And this is a little bit of a tangent, but the book I remember being on Baxter paper is Crystar. I think it was the very first Crystar. It was this really bright white, thicker paper, and it like the colors like jumped off the page. So when I was looking for printers, I really wanted to sort of capture that feel, especially since my book, as most people can tell, it's got pretty bright colors. The colors are a really important part of the book. So that was really a high priority for me. So we'll go through each book, and I'll occasionally stop, have a little bit of coffee. Dr. Mask. I have to say, the beginning of issue 2, I kept thinking about it starting inside a room, and then it zooms out to where they are. Enjoyed that reveal. Oh, cool. Yes, I know. Generally, you want to do the opposite sometimes. You want to actually start outside and zoom in. But I really liked that opening scene, where they're all sort of crammed in that little wagon. So I thought, you know what? We'll start there. We'll really get a feel and atmosphere for the scene, and then we'll pop back out. Just got done picking up a copy, dude. Thank you. Awesome. I really appreciate that. Dude, Baxter paper. I've been thinking about that too. I think Camelot 3000 was on that as well. That sounds right, but I never read it. But there was just a period where certain books, had it. And I don't know why. I don't know how they decided which books got Baxter paper. I don't know if it was just to like catch people's eye. But when you're reading these, definitely imagine those old Baxter book pages, and it will look very, very similar. Yeah, so we have like a satin cover, and we'll look at the design a little bit. So this is the new Horace H. Hoover logo. I had to tweak the logo a little bit to stretch it out, but this sort of top banner was originally my idea, so I wanted to go back to that. I went back and forth on the corner box. I really like this format. I think the design is kind of, I don't know. It's got the old school feel, like 50s, 60s, with like the big, like red banner or yellow, and you'll see in the other books. I try to capture that. So we have Gloomy Wood. That's my logo. This is the original image, but I am going to be coming out with alternate drawings and alternate covers for issue 1 and 2. So the back, we have black. We have the black banners. We have an image. And then we have this Gloomy Wood logo, which I'm really excited about. It's Gloomy Wood Comics, which is basically, it's from Dante's Inferno, but it's sort of a slight different interpretation. Instead of dark wood, it's gloomy wood. So I really liked that interpretation. So if you can see it, it's sort of a hand that looks like a tree. And I kind of like that kind of creepy hand that also looks like a tree. So that's Gloomy Wood. If we go through here, hopefully you can see that some of the detail was lost before. We have books and we have a globe, but that would have been essentially like a really dark color, and I don't think you saw there were books there at all. So this particular digital printing on this paper, you really see a lot of the detail that I put in, a lot of the texture, like the paper texture that I added digitally later on, a little bit of the watercolor texture. So really happy about this. Thicker paper, bright white. The first issue has essentially everything the same. Has the fake ad. But one big addition to the first issue is a letters page. And I believe I mentioned this before, but I'll kind of go over it. This did get cut earlier, but I added this back in, and what I'm doing with this letters page is essentially writing little mini stories. So each of these letters is the start of a story that will be told through all 5 issues. They're, essentially think of it as a little epistolary. So an epistolary is just a story written through letters, like Dracula and Frankenstein. But these little mini stories essentially carve out the world of Horace. We learn more about his background. We learn more about the world. So this is really fun. And if you read issues, again, 1 through 5, each of these little letters, there'll be a story told throughout the whole thing. So that's pretty cool. And then I have a poster. This is one of the first, it might be the absolute first finished Horace H. Hoover image I ever did. Let's see. The colors definitely pop. Looks awesome. Thanks, Easy Comic Reader. Yeah, like you'll definitely notice that when you get this. It's as I intended, which is really fun. Like the screw tape letters. Yep, exactly. So issue 2. So we have the same image. Again, tweaked a little bit of the copy, the letters, and then I use this red. And I like the idea of sort of a theme color for each book. It sets them apart, but they're close enough together so it looks like a set. I really like changing the logo colors and just tone of everything. So this is issue 2. Just kind of go through it a little bit. Yeah, that opening scene where we're in the gypsy wagon is one of my favorite shots, actually. I knew that that first page when you open up a comic, if there's a lot of action in the comic, you really want that to be what people see, but I really wanted to set the tone. And, a seance in a gypsy wagon, I don't think you can set a more specific tone than that, right? Spoilers, but yeah, colors look great. I actually updated one panel. There was one panel that really kind of bugged me forever, so I updated that. Another place that you'll see that the colors really, or I should say the printing and the paper make a difference, is in this image. So this double page spread, again, has really subtle details in places for the coloring that got lost. So this is I'm really happy with this. It's really as close to, I keep saying really. It's as close to the original image as I've seen yet. So whenever the colors, the printing, and the inks look like that Photoshop file, that final Photoshop file, then I'm happy. Again, we got the letters page, which picks up where the issue 1 left off. And then we have an image here. And finally, the biggest and newest Horace H. Hoover, issue 3. So right off the bat, like that yellow and red really pops. Extraordinarily happy with it. So this picks up where issue 2 left off when the book bug clocked him. And we'll kind of see, we'll get a little backstory on Bookbug and then a little bit of the library. Horace will meet some other characters, the monsters. The thing that this issue does, which I love in stories, is tell a story within a story. It's one of my favorite things about Lovecraft, and again, any sort of epistolary. It's these little mini stories that just kind of go levels deep. So there is a fake board game ad, which is a nice treat. Hopefully, when you read issues 1, 2, and you get to that, that'll be a nice surprise. And of course, letters here. So we're 3 levels, not 3 levels, but we're 3 letters into the epistolary at this point. So even from the back, these really look nice. Yeah, I mean, each book will have sort of a theme color, and then, that'll be carried throughout. Total, I think I said, was 88 pages. So those are the new issues. I'm really excited. And I'm going to pop back over. Alrighty. So I think that for the most part was all I wanted to go over. Hopefully everybody got to the store. If you signed up for the Substack, there's a discount code. Any questions, comments, let me know. I'll have a little more coffee, and then I'll post an invite in the chat if anybody wants to pop in for a little bit. Kibo, the colors have such a great vibrancy. Thank you. I'm convinced in comic creation that writers are more than colors are more than people imagine. They have more weight than people imagine. If you look at these books and they were desaturated, or maybe not even desaturated, right? So maybe the color palette is browns or grays or something else. It's not the same story. It's not that it's different. It's not that it's another way to tell the same story, but it's an actual different story. Whenever you walk in, this is kind of a lame example, but it's the first one I think of. You walk into a restaurant and you just get a vibe. I'm like, this place, the lighting's harsh, the colors are weird, the textures, the floors, whatever it is about the restaurant. And you walk into some restaurants and it just you feel at ease. And it could be really small things. Like I said, it could be the lighting, it could be the color of the floor versus the wall, it could be, whatever that is. It has such a huge impact, and I knew that going into it. I wanted to make the colors, as intertwined with the story as possible. I think that realism is not the way to go when you're doing colors. I think local colors are a terrible idea. I feel like it's a secret that a lot of people don't take advantage of, so I'm definitely trying to take advantage of it, we'll say that. Looks great. Thanks, Dr. Mask. Captain Goodnight, congrats on the new release. Thank you, Captain Goodnight. A shout out to Captain Goodnight, who helped proof all 3 issues. I had sent them to my proofer and everything was looking good, but then I had made some additions and updates. So there were some last minute revisions I need to do, and Captain Goodnight was on the ball and found several errors, typos, and things that I had to fix. So huge shout out to Captain Goodnight. Huge thanks. Malengo looks great. Thanks, buddy. Buddy. Sorry, I didn't mean to call you buddy. Hey Preston, how's it going? Congrats, brother, buying the bundle now. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Preston is an amazing artist. If you check out his version of Horace H. Hoover, which is one of the coolest versions of Horace H. Hoover. I feel it's like an alternate universe Horace H. Hoover, where he's just a kick-ass, like, occult investigator. Hey Ben, how's it going? Hey, congrats on launch. Thank you so much. Yeah, I've had this book done for quite a while, so it's really nice that I finally get it in people's hands. In fact, you know what? I'm going to keep a little bit of that book up. I don't think we need to see my face all the time, right? Yeah. So, okay. Let me grab the link, and if anybody wants to pop in, feel free. Again, no pressure. I will talk to myself for a little bit. I do have a hard out at 9 o'clock. We can chat about cult detectives. We can talk about seances. We can talk about... What else can we talk about? People that wear pieces of literature on their clothing. Oh, that's weird. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it went through. So it should be in chat. If that link is not in chat, let me know. Alright, what else do we have to talk about? I don't think there's any big secrets. I've definitely gone over these stories more than a few times, but I will mention for anybody that hasn't read any of them at this point, the 5-issue miniseries was sort of a way to tell multiple different stories, types of stories in 5 issues. So I could have gone the route of it's a 5-issue miniseries. It's one story that's chopped up into 5 pieces, and that's that, with a cliffhanger at the end of each issue. Or I could have done an anthology and done just a bunch of short stories. I really wanted to try my hand at multiple different story types. So issue 1 has 2 short stories in it. And if you never read another Horace H. Hoover story, then hopefully those are satisfying, fun little stories. But if you move forward, issue 2, 3, and 4 essentially pick up on where one of the short stories left off in issue 1. And it resolves at the end of issue 4. So that's what I'm working on right now. And then issue 5 is going to be it's going to be a one-off self-contained story. So in the 5-issue miniseries, you really get a gamut of different types of storytelling. It's something that I wanted to do before I moved further, and I felt if I just did a bunch of short story anthology stuff, it can get tedious. If I did 5 issues with no resolution, you know, the time it takes to really wait for those 5 issues could potentially turn people off, and I get that. So figured I'll do all 3. I'll do short stories, I'll do one longer arc, and then I'll do a self-contained story, which is issue 5, which I'm very, very excited about, but I'm working on issue 4 right now. So I am on page 14 pencils right now. And depending on a few things, I'm hoping to have issue 4 done in the fall. So I was planning on doing a Kickstarter or a crowdfunder for issue 4, but I'm not entirely sure. We'll see how this goes. You know, I know sometimes it's nice being involved in a crowdfunder, but sometimes it's nice just going to a site, hitting buy, and knowing that you're going to get it in a couple of days. So we'll see how this goes, and maybe I'll take a poll when the time comes and see what people prefer. I don't have any preference. I know a lot of times we imagine ourselves as the consumer, and my ideal purchasing is going to a comic book shop, you know, seeing shelves full of cool comics, flipping through some, finding one that looks like it might be something I like, and then, you know, grabbing it, and then going home and reading it. So the time from when you find a book to you're actually reading it, making that as short as possible, I think helps the experience. I think if you sit on something too long, it can change it, because, you know, if you look at this cover, and I was paging through it, you get a sense of some of the story. You definitely get a sense of the art, you know, the level of the art, level of the storytelling. But if you sit on this for 6 months, you might come up with a story on your own based on that. And the longer you wait, the more that story sort of concretizes in your head. So then whenever you get the book, your expectation and what the book is actually delivering are completely different. So that's why I really like, you see the book, I like the art, I like the premise, I buy it, and then I read it. Personally, I feel like that's the best experience, but that's not always possible, right? It's not 1985, unfortunately. Trust me, every day I am sad it's not 1985, but so we got to work with what we have. Hit that like button. Yeah, I always forget to tell people to do that. And you know what? I was checking, my YouTube channel had 797, so I'm very close to getting 800 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. That would be a nice way to end the evening. 800 subscribers. So, or at least hit the like button. Mike Stanley, how's it going? Reminds me of Graham Ingalls. Looks great. Wow, thank you. That's high praise. Thank you so much. Personally, I love getting them at the convention directly. Then it's a tie between comic shop and online direct from a creator website. Yeah, that's true. A convention is its own sort of thing. So like I said, comic book shops, newsstands, they are what they are. You know, conventions are sort of that middleman. So that is really nice. The only thing with conventions is, you know, like, you get a stack of books to read. Like, and that can happen at a comic book shop. But I went to Three Rivers and I must have, I don't know how many books, 20 books. And I'm slowly making my way through them. So that's the only problem with that. Not that that's a problem, having stacks of comics, but you just don't get to them as quickly as we'd like. I agree with the turnaround time. My problem with some crowdfunded comics is a cliffhanger, and then you have to wait a year for the rest of the story. I know that is a critique that people have, and I definitely sympathize. I sympathize with it. I think what I might do in the future, again, all of this is sort of up in the air, but I might spend a year essentially doing a book with a start and a finish of a particular product. So maybe it's Horace H. Hoover, maybe it's something else that I was talking about working on. And then it comes out. So there's no cliffhanger. It's one book, start, finish. That way there's none of that. And it would be like volumes of things, which I think, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. That's how I read Hellboy, you know, volume, like chunks of books. I'll drop a shout out in our Discord for you. I feel like there's some good overlap in our fan base. Venn diagram. Oh man, thank you, Kibo. I appreciate that. This is a side note, but I'm a programmer and I wanted to make a Venn diagram. I don't know if somebody else did this, but many years ago when I was watching Fast and the Furious, and I thought, I'm going to do a Venn diagram, and essentially it's like a questionnaire, and when you get to the end of the questionnaire, it could be about anything. I don't know, favorite food, favorite car, something like that. It would show you, it would generate a Venn diagram, but it would be a circle with Vin Diesel, and then where you would overlap. So it would be a Venn diagram. I feel like it would have been a moneymaker 10 years ago, if somebody already hasn't come out with it, which is usually the case. I even bought, man, this is a little bit of a tangent. I even bought VennDiagram.com, I think, at the time. This is so long ago. It seemed like there was a Fast and Furious movie every few minutes. So anybody that is not familiar with my YouTube channel, I do live streams where I ink and draw Horace H. Hoover. So you will actually see these books being made on my YouTube channel. I have maybe 100 videos or so where I'm inking. Occasionally I'll do other characters. I did a Thor and something Hawkman. So, you know, if you're interested, it's all traditional art. So I use a brush and pencils. So if you're looking for traditional artwork, it's a slow process, sometimes painful when you run out of paper to erase, or your paper gets all chewed up. But you know, there is a satisfaction to it. So if you're looking to learn or just want to watch, check it out on Sundays at 3 o'clock. Generally, Sundays at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And I do it for about an hour. Hop into chat and talk and, you know, ask me questions. I write, draw, I do it all. I'm not saying I'm the greatest at everything, but I definitely have some skill at it. Oh, I got somebody that wants to pop in. Cool. That would have been gold. I know. The Venn diagram, I'm telling you. Francis, have you started thinking about the follow-up story or next series of Horace H. Hoover? Yes, I have. I haven't really gotten to the big arc that I want to get to. There's 2 main arcs. They're like 6 issues each. So as soon as this miniseries is done, I'll probably jump to another book that I want to do and then jump back and forth to Horace. But I have like 12 issue arc, or 2 arcs that are 6 issues roughly planned. And that was the story I had in my head. So I have to at minimum do that 12 issues. If not, it'll feel like an unfinished book to me. But let's bring in Ben Soto.
What is going on?
Ben, how's it going?
Pretty good, man.
Let me turn down. Thank you so much. I appreciate you popping in.
Yeah, no problem. Just want to stop by and say congratulations. I'm excited for you doing your own thing now, your own website too. That's cool.
Thanks.
Your own store.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I'm a programmer, so I have a little bit of an advantage, which I'm not going to complain about. So it's a custom site. So I can do things with it that some people might not be able to, which is nice. I haven't taken advantage too much of it, but yeah, I was actually thinking you were the first person to have me on. I think like I was. Years ago.
Yeah, I remember when Pete first brought you on. I was like, that guy's on to something. That H.H. Hoover is so cool.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much.
I think I remember my exact comment. It was, that kid's got something, or that kid's going somewhere. I don't know if you remember that.
A little did you know that kid is like 82 years old.
We're like the same age, man. What are you talking
about? Yeah, I appreciate it. Like the sketch chat and all that stuff is always fun. Yeah. I mean, that's probably the biggest thing for me, is meeting people like you and other artists and creators that I didn't know anybody before. It was just me in my room, going to the comic shop occasionally, but right. You don't have that back and forth, seeing other people's work. That's definitely the highlight of this.
Yeah. Hey, chat. Seeing some people say hi. Yeah, man, that's creating comic books is such an isolating thing that being able to hang out with other creators is so much fun.
Yeah, because no matter what, people are doing something slightly different than you, and in a way you probably didn't think of. And I'm like, oh, that's right. It's I think the best way to grow as an artist is seeing other people in the process too. It's one thing if you get a finished comic book. You know, if you see, a Jim Lee comic book, but if you watch him on Twitch actually creating a page, it's a totally different, yeah, maybe I can do that. He started from a white page to a finished thing. It's doable, right?
That pencil-y blob into something, that's cool.
I'll erase just like Mark Silvestri, and I'll have exactly his artwork or something.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, who is your favorite occult detective outside of Horace H. Hoover? Is there
Ooh, that's a good question. In fiction, I guess that's what we're talking about here.
Yeah. Oh, unless you know a real occult detective, do you?
Well, like the first one that comes to mind, only because I've been hearing about him a lot more lately, especially with the movie coming out, is that Nandor Fodor. He went to Ireland, and there's that talking mongoose.
I don't know anything about this.
You don't know it, but yeah, you
No.
check it out. I'll send you a link.
Okay. Now I'm really excited.
Yeah, I guess I don't know if you'd call him a detective, but I like Doctor Strange. I think he's
Yeah. Yeah, the funny thing about Doctor Strange is, I mean, I love Steve Ditko. I've been on a Ditko kick. And sometimes you have to re-find people. Like, you get into like a book or an artist, and then you kind of set it aside. For some reason, I've been clicking with his stuff recently. So I was looking at Doctor Strange, and I'm like, that is such a crazy costume.
Yeah,
It's so crazy.
yeah. I would hate to draw that.
Tights with a thing, like but man, is it fantastic. He really would start, like most people, I mean, and Kirby had slight deviation, like he never really went too crazy with his stuff. It was always like guy in tights with slightly different things here or there. I'll give him skis, or I'll give him, like something like that. But it seems like Ditko, he would start like way over here. It would just be completely outside of the normal sort of superhero realm.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Then of course there's John Constantine, but everybody's gonna say John Constantine. So
I know.
Go there. I was like, I'm not gonna go there. But
It's okay. You can go there. I mean, there aren't that many occult detectives, really. Or, especially in comics. There's Hellboy and Constantine. There's probably a few I have no idea about. If anybody in chat can think of any. Yeah, I can't really think of many, but I don't know.
What's his name? Can't think of the first name. The
Dresden.
Files.
Oh yeah, I read some of those books. That was fun.
Yeah.
That was a fun book. Books. I think they might still be going on, but yeah.
Was that Jim Butcher?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they tried to do a TV show briefly. It didn't really work out.
Yeah.
But
Oh well.
that's okay. Yeah, and so you have something. Is it currently being crowdfunded, or when's the launch for your book?
My launch date is July 1st.
July 1st. Okay, so that is coming up. And are you doing Fund My Comic or Indiegogo or?
Yeah, Fund My Comic.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah,
I saw
it's gonna be like 95% done by the time I launch. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
I mean, just on that cover from is
Preston, he was in the chat earlier. Like, yeah, he did an amazing job.
incredible stuff. Really incredible stuff.
Yeah.
Dr. Spectre. I don't know Dr. Spectre.
Ooh, yeah, I'm not familiar with him.
Yeah, I don't know what. Maybe that was like an older comic. Siegel and Schuster's Doctor Occult. Now that sounds familiar. I think I might have seen a cover of Doctor Occult. No offense to Siegel and Schuster, but the name is lacking, I think.
Just a little on the nose.
I'm Dr. Occult. I will be your psychologist for the evening.
You should have an Inspector Occult, like in your comic book. Yeah.
That would be funny.
A rival to H.H. Hoover.
I don't know if Horace H. Hoover would officially consider himself an occult investigator. Because of a lot of stuff that he says, that he sees, is just what he sees. It's not, when he travels to certain locations and sees monsters, that's just what's there. It's not, it's not sort of supernatural paranormal per se. To him, the bagel shop and the strange castle with like the tongue sticking out the top is the same thing,
Right.
So I don't know if he would call himself that or not. That's a good question. Let's see. Spectre, Gold Key, I think.
Oh,
I'm gonna have to Google that.
I love Gold Key Comics. They always had like the best artists working on their stuff.
Man. Cult was originally from like 1935. Wow, okay. So yeah, I think On the Nose was Flavor of the Day. That's impressive. 1935. To even have an occult investigator then, it seems interesting. Brian Suddenly Old, how's it going? Nathan Never and the Dare Detective are two comics of occult detectives. I'm gonna have a list of occult detectives to read now. Near me, we have something called Pulp Fest coming up in August, which is very, like, legitimately pulp. Like, they're very narrow in their definition of pulp. It's Doc Savage and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's I'm a youngin there when I basically go to feel like the youngest person in the audience, but that is a lot of fun because you don't see that stuff. That's not really pop culture anymore.
Right.
Alrighty. Yeah, we're at about an hour. Well, I hope everybody had at least a chance to check out the website and subscribe to Substack to get that coupon. I want you to pay as little as possible. And I will start getting these out tomorrow and probably Monday, depending on how many there are. I'm going to assume there was 1,000 orders. So if I can handle 1,000 orders, no. Yeah, I'll get them out as soon as possible. I have the Gemini mailers, so they should be well protected. And I might be able to throw a few extras in there randomly, so people can look for some extras, some fun things in there. And I think that's it. Any last words, Ben? Thanks for popping in.
Yeah, no problem, man. I just want to pop in again and just congratulate you.
Thank you. Yeah. All right, everybody. Oh.
There you go. Right. Any future events?
Yeah. Any future events? SDCC. Wow. So Plastic City in July. That is July the 21st. I might be blanking on that. Plastic City, Massachusetts on the 21st. It's a 1 day. I'm really excited about it because it's in a hotel, like a very old school feel, like for a convention, which I love.
Used to be. Yeah.
So I'm very excited about that. After that, nothing planned, but the goal is to do a couple of conventions a year in different places. You know, I don't know if San Diego is on even remotely possible. Maybe someday, who knows?
It'd be tough to get into.
Yeah, for many reasons.
Yeah.
The travel, actually getting into it, you know. But I think at minimum East Coast probably. So maybe New York, maybe Baltimore again, maybe Chicago, Philly, you know, East Coast, New England type conventions.
New York is usually October, right?
October, November, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, and I love the fall. That's like when I really enjoy traveling. So I'll probably just pick a couple for the year, and I might hit someplace near people as long as they're east and north of the Mason-Dixon, probably.
Right.
Yeah, that's it, though. I'll definitely announce that, though. July 20th is Plastic City. Thank you, Dr. Mask. I appreciate that. Thanks, Easy Comic Reader. I appreciate it. Keith here puts on a good show. Enjoy Plastic City. Yeah, man, it's.
I would love to try and make it to one day.
Yeah, where are you again?
I'm in Oklahoma, so it's a bit
wow
of a for me. Yeah.
Yeah, you need to plan it so there's like 4 conventions and your favorite band and like a whole bunch of stuff going on at the same time.
Yeah.
It is pretty cool. The East Coast and Pittsburgh, I'm pretty close to a lot of other creators and things, which is pretty nice.
Yeah.
So it is nice seeing some of the same people kind of pop in. Only $10 to get in. Yeah, that is nice for Plastic City.
Yeah.
1 day only. Thanks again, Kibo. Appreciate it. All right, everybody. Have a good rest of your evening. Thanks again for everybody that picked something up from the store or listened to me babble for an hour. Any questions, comments, let me know. There's a contact form on the site if you run into issues, but I'm always available on YouTube or Instagram or Twitter or something like that. Thanks again, everybody. Have a good night.
Right.